been falling for 30 minutes. If you actually think that I was just the right gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, nigga, gay guy, gay guy.
Did you just take a crap on my desk?
What's up? What's up? Crapped on your desk, Doug. What's up with that?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of fart jokes, but you know what? It breaks up the copyright, so you got to do what you got to do in this wicked YouTube game. Welcome to the Monday Night War retrospective. Glad everyone's here. Great to see your faces. Yeah, we got Etep Wokuian in the chat. Great to see you, bro. You got to join us on the panel sometime. Speaking of Etep Wokuian, let's go ahead and introduce him now. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent, man. Thank you. I'm all NWO'd out tonight because it's just that kind of night. So, yeah, it's good to be here, bro. This is my favorite period in professional wrestling, man. Let's say I'm only a couple years older than you, but yeah, I was a teenager when this was going on, and I can remember watching, a lot of the bigger stuff. I have remember, watching some of it with my friends at pay-per-views, but yeah, this is fun. I love WC, and I was a Crockett Promotions, NWA, WCW fan more so than the Fed. So yeah, I love this. This is yeah.
It seems like it was just January '96, and I'm like 8 more months, and we'll be there. So, Thank you for joining us tonight, brother.
Thank you for having me, bro. As always, man.
Absolutely. Next up, we have the vampire of all fandoms, Mr. Angelous Draven. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Should be a good show. Had some new members join the NWO this week, so and like Etep said, this is like probably the best time to be a WCW fan.
Yeah. From now till Starrcade '97.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And seeing it, like I remember bits and pieces of it growing up, but getting to see it all again is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Yeah, they're really hitting their stride. Like, It was a little slow after Bash at the Beach because Hogan was, finishing prior obligations, Thunder in Paradise. And so now that he's there and everything's really moving at full speed, it's compelling television, even watching back so many years later. Hail superfan Adam Shawhan. What's up, Judas Goat Barbecue? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. And next on the panel, we have a very special guest star tonight, and Vinny will be joining us later. He'll be here probably in about a half hour. But yeah, joining us right now on the panel is Mr. RGT 85, and I'm going to drop his link in the chat, so make sure to run over there and subscribe. Sir, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me on. That was quite a show intro you got there.
I was putting it together, and I'm like, how can I avoid like a possible copyright strike? Because it's so hit and miss. So I figure if I broke up the audio a little, it would work. And then it's like, well, what do you break it up with? And
farts.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So many months later, that is the greatness that is the intro. So. Keely Chow, hail to you. Thank you for joining us. Guys, I wanted to talk about something I saw last week. I don't watch much of the modern day product. If I do, I might tune into AEW for a little bit, see what's going on over there, because everything's just kind of newer over there, fresher. I'm so used to the WWE formula. Okay, so this past Wednesday, 6 days ago, they had a ladder match for the TNT Championship. It was Sammy Guevara defending against Scorpio Sky, and it wasn't too bad, especially for TV. It was a nice ladder match, but every time I tune in, and I'm not trying to be that guy that, I love a good hardcore match. I grew up watching Mick Foley, but these guys, they're starting to push the limit just a little further every single week that goes by, trying to up the ante from last week, trying to garner attention from the fans. And I don't know, last week, Sammy Guevara kind of took an unnecessary bump. I'm going to see if I can find it here and play it.
That was nasty. Hail 24 eyes.
There was a couple in that match that I thought were like, what the hell? Like, it looked like he was going to, like, kill himself a couple times.
I never would have seen the clip if Tony didn't share it, because I don't watch anything modern. Yeah. I can't. It's, when I got out of the business, like I said, I just kind of, I watch, like I said, I watch WrestleMania and stuff like that just because it's habit. But, I don't watch anything weekly if I can help it. As much as I'd like to start watching some AEW, just because some of the older guys like Jericho, who I watched through, ECW and then, come into WCW and then subsequently go over to the Fed and just become a huge superstar there. It's surreal watching, like I said, just the difference in locker room culture, even on the indie scene that I was in when I left compared to when I started. It was like these definitely aren't warriors. Like some of these guys, I see people taking stupid risks. So that's usually the videos I see are somebody, like this one that Tony's, I can't remember the guy's name's already slipped my mind.
Sammy Guevara, he's young too. He is a young guy.
The thing is, he went and him and his girlfriend won a mixed tag team titles or whatever, and another promotion like this, like that.
Yeah,
a couple days ago.
AAA at AAA.
Yeah.
Nice. So here. Okay, so to set this up, they're having a ladder match. The championship is hanging in the center of the ring, and throughout the wrestling match, they had set the ladder up in the center of the ring, but it ends up getting pushed kind of further over by the turnbuckle. So at this point, Sammy Guevara climbs up, and he's nowhere near the title. Like, if you reach to grab it from where he was at, gravity was going to grab you first. I mean, no way he's going to get it. So I don't know if this was a planned spot or what, but he realizes he can't get a hold of the title. So he looks into the screen, looks right into the camera, does his finger around his head like he's crazy, he's loco, and then he pulls this move off, and let's check it out here. So, and especially, I've seen it a few times, so I'm a little desensitized to it, but in the moment, it was pretty scary, and they had to cut to commercial right away. They usually go to picture-in-picture, and I know it happened where I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. It happened here, but I heard in other spots around the country as well, they blacked it out because a whole bunch of officials ran out there to make sure he was okay, and thankfully he was. They come back from commercial, and he's gets back to his job, and they continue.
I must
wrestling.
have missed that because I watched it on demand, like on their app, and I don't remember seeing that spot.
Yeah, so maybe they cut it out. I'm not sure, but the whole point is and I don't want to be this person because I remember years ago when they were coming out, when WWF was coming out of the Attitude Era, and Vince is like, well, sometimes you've got to take a step back in order to move forward. I'm like, the product was stale for a long time before that, and I don't know. Like I said, everything is so formulaic now with WWE. And I'm not saying AEW should go that far, but I mean, at what point, do we stop ramping it up? Because it's getting, again, thumbtacks or something is a little safer than that. Like, I don't think I like Sammy Guevara. I just don't think he was prepared to pull a move off like that. And he really, you know, what was Scorpio Sky supposed to do, you know, when he's falling with that kind of momentum at him? I mean, so I just want to say I'm happy Sammy Guevara's okay, but you know, maybe we should start dialing it back just a little, just so nobody gets injured, you know, when
even
it becomes...
with Jeff Hardy's like new way he does his swanton, like he doesn't full rotate now, it seems, and it like a couple times he's done that, and I feel like he's gonna hit his head, like, and I'm just scared every time he does it because I'm like, this is gonna end his career every time, and he does it every time he's in the ring.
Are the
so
ring
it's like,
posts shorter in AEW?
I have no idea.
My buddy and I were having that discussion. It looks like the ring posts don't sit as high in AEW. Because he does. He looks like he's having trouble pulling off his swanton.
Dude, that move Sammy you pulled off that ladder, he could have just as easily done like he could have done a missile drop kick out of that instead of flipping around like an idiot and almost breaking his neck. Like, I know you want to do the big spot. I know.
Well,
I understand.
Young too. He's like 28 years old. Like, you don't want to...
No, dude, don't put your career at risk for one spot on a weekly TV show. You know what I mean? That was absolutely ridiculous. I would have come out of that. I never did any high fly. Like I said, I got up on the top rope and did an elbow drop once, and that was it. I didn't do that shit. That's he could have, like I said, do a guillotine leg drop, do a missile drop kick, you know, a double axe handle off there. But I mean, Jesus, dude, like, you know,
that's what Macho Man did.
Pick and choose your spots where you do that kind of stuff. You know, the crowds now are desensitized to all this flippy shit. That's what the problem is. So they expect it all the time. Feed me more kind of thing. Not to harken back to Ryback and his botch fest ass. But
he went to school like not far from where I live now. Ryback did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't the best worker, but he's trash.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, I kind of like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can kind of see the Goldberg comparisons. It was just weird because I've seen other, like, he's one of the few people in WWE right now not using a spear, you know? Like, or not right now, but at the time. So, I get that's like the go-to finisher these days is a spear. Yeah. So, yeah, I just, you know, I only bring up the Sammy Guevara thing because I don't want, like, someone young, you know, I thought Guevara was younger than 28, but I just, you know, I don't want something bad to happen and then they realize, you know, maybe you don't have to go all out on every television show. And I'm all for a fast-paced, you know, high-action match, but, I think what would help AEW right now, you know, you see Steve Austin or Hulk Hogan or the NWO. These are all compelling storylines that transcended reality and, you know, kind of it equaled money and it equaled ratings. So, you know, I'm all good with, you know, Lucha Libre style matches and stuff. But maybe like on the weekly shows or something, you know, dial it back, or like if they didn't plan that spot and he just kind of did it off the top of his head, you know, maybe you don't have to do that, you know. I was watching Macho Man and Ted DiBiase from WrestleMania 4, and Macho's getting up on the top turnbuckle and jumping to the outside of the ring and hits DiBiase with the double axe handle, and the fans loved it, you know. And I know that may not be exciting, you know, right now, but again, maybe if we just took a couple steps back, it would mean a little more. So, yeah, that's all. I just don't want to
some of those bigger spots for like pay-per-views and stuff.
Yeah, and the bigger matches, and
you have to give the crowd reasons to pop, and your spots need to be placed on the card accordingly. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want the guy in the first match. Like, you want the first match to come out hot, but you don't want the first match to blow up everything else in the card to where they've got to adjust what they do because you want to do 8 moonsaws, 6 chair spots, and all up front early in the card. Because then what the hell, the rest of the, then everybody else is sitting there going, oh, fuck me, right? What are we going to do now? Because we have to top that, or else the crowd will be sitting on their damn hands.
Build to the main event.
Yeah, so you have to be cognizant of when you're doing what kind of spots, and honestly, that's the booker's job. But I mean, they're obviously not scripting out their matches as heavily, and I say that from a the road agent's perspective, being involved. You know what I mean?
Yes.
With, hey, these are your spots, and this is how you're gonna. They're like, well, if they're doing it in AEW like we would do it on the indies. It sounds like, hey, here's what we need story wise. Work it out in the ring, because that's the way it should be. It should be whoever's in the ring. Your heel should be calling the match. I'm sorry, I'm old school. Your heel should be calling the match. That's the heel's the general. The heel's the general in all cases.
Hey guys, how we doing?
What up, Vinny?
Good. How are you doing, Vinny?
I'm all right, but I came a little late, so I'm going to apologize for you. Sure. Gigi Ping, sure.
It's okay. So let's go ahead and let's jump into this week's Monday Nitro from September 30th, 1996. So right now we're kind of in between pay-per-views for both promotions. We have In Your House Buried Alive coming up October 20th, 1996. And then on the 27th is Halloween Havoc. And again, it's the first Halloween Havoc in my hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. It kind of became a tradition out here. And even I still, hand to God, I think DDP versus Goldberg at Halloween Havoc 98, which apparently most of the country didn't get to see. Luckily, I was there in person. That was Goldberg's best match I've ever seen.
By far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sad. I left the pay-per-view. I left the arena, get home, and I'm like calling my friends, see what they thought of the match, but the pay-per-view cut it off at 10 o'clock or whenever. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Dude, we were pissed that night when we were watching that. I'll never forget that.
They replay it on Nitro, but it's not the same because you kind of know the outcome already. So, like the suspense that they just were able to build in that match. It was when Goldberg speared that turnbuckle, I was on my feet. Like I thought that was it, but
wow.
Yeah. So Halloween Havoc was a tradition out here, so it kind of holds a soft spot in my heart. So definitely our champions, number 1 Nitro's coming to us from Cleveland, Ohio, and they did garner a 3.3 rating, making this the 13th straight week that they've defeated WWF in the ratings. Again, Nitro pulled a 3.3, and Raw, coming to you from Hershey, Pennsylvania, scored a 2.3, a full ratings point under WCW. And WCW, we're just rounding out our first year. What was it, September 5th, 95. So, I mean, they've kind of come in and dominated Monday nights. Our commentators for Hour 1 is Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko, and our current WCW champions are World Champion Hollywood Hogan, U.S. Champion Ric Flair. I think that's going to be vacated soon, though. Flair was injured on a tour to Japan. Our World Tag Champions are the Public Enemy, World Television Champion Lord Steven Regal, and Cruiserweight Champion is Rey Mysterio Jr. So, number 1, and this is nothing against Ohio, but I've never heard anyone as excited to be in Cleveland as Tony Schiavone was at the beginning of this episode. Dude was...
It's a rock and roll Hall of Fame.
Was his favorite strip club there?
Must have been back when he was when he was touring, with the minor league baseball. They'd probably stop there. Hey, that's my clothes. Go over there. Tony Schiavone had a rat in Cleveland. He had a ring rat in Cleveland.
Of course.
Yes. It's like every couple months he's just watching that schedule, waiting to get back. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So we start the show off. The announcers, kind of bring us up to speed on everything. Last week, the NWO had kind of taken over the second hour of Nitro. All the WCW stars were in Japan besides Macho Man. And Eric Bischoff is going to give an official response as to the NWO taking over Nitro last week. Because, I mean, the Giant took over the ring announcer job. We had Ted DiBiase, Vincent, a couple other people over in commentary. I mean, they took over the show. So
Yeah, they were smacking Bischoff around like a rag doll.
Yeah. And
He
they cost Jim Powers a match, those bastards.
He got
How dare
slapped
you.
in the back of his head like at least
Vincent was
15
going.
times.
Some of those were stiff.
Yeah.
On him.
Well, how many chances did Vincent's broke ass have to get over on anybody? He's like, I'm gonna slap shit out of the boss while I got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Then they went back and he's like, you're gonna have to job to Goldberg 800 times during his streak, so enjoy it. I hope it was worth it, Vincent.
RGT, were you all watching like live at this time? Are you a WCW fan?
Yeah, I was a WCW fan at this time primarily because of what happened at Bash of the Beach '96.
Yeah.
Because I was a big Hall and Nash fan. And
Yeah.
WWF, and then when they jumped, it was like, oh, now I have to watch this other thing. Because growing up, I grew up in the Northeast. There was definitely a mindset of like, what is WCW? WCW was kind of looked down upon as like the minor leagues, and like the WWF was like the big time. So like I used to catch Saturday night sometimes, and I'd be like, why is it on TBS at 6:05 Eastern time? Like, why is it on USA? Oh, it must not be as good. But I had some basic knowledge of it at that time. But yeah, I was definitely watching.
Yeah, same thing happened because I'm from New York, and my cousin, he was like the first one who showed us. He was recording them, and then he would bring them over. He's like, "You got to see these guys. Look at the Steiner brothers. Look what they can do." I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Steiners are from my home state, man. Not too far from me. Far from me.
Well, dude, with the Frankensteiner, I mean, nobody was doing shit like that.
Well, shit. Yeah. The commentators didn't know what to call a Hurricane Rana. They by default called it a Frankensteiner, no matter who did it.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, Rey Mysterio reversed a power bomb into a Hurricane Rana, and Tony Schiavone was like, "We've never seen that before," and like, it's so commonplace now. Yeah.
But then to see big guys like that do it, I mean, Scott Steiner. I'm like, I didn't know he could jump like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scotty was yoked. So,
oh god,
hail Red Gaze, hail Chris Fisk, my sketchbook. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. And to mention Saturdays at 6:05, I was talking to Draven about this a couple weeks ago. I really miss a good weekend wrestling show, and I guess most of the pay-per-views or premium live events or whatever they're calling them now take place on Saturday, but that would be nice because sometimes I would just come home, I'd forget WCW Saturday night was on, and I would just come home and it would be playing. It's like cool wrestling to watch, or Superstars, WWF Superstars when it used to come on Saturday mornings. I like that,
Yep.
Like Mondays are cool too, but it'd be nice to have a weekend show again.
Yeah.
I used to record most of Saturday. Well, I was watching when I was a senior in high school and stuff like that. I'd record them because I was always gone. On the weekends, out doing something. But I used to like the Saturday night show for WCW. Yeah. My family's originally from the Detroit area, so there's a lot of NWA because they used to come up, and then they used to go to Saginaw a lot.
I learned the state of Michigan through Mike Hudson and the WCW roadmap.
Right,
Grand Rapids, Saginaw, like
the only cities they ever go to is Grand Rapids, Saginaw, Detroit, and Lansing. I don't even know if they go to Lansing anymore. They used to go there, but
Let's okay, so the show starts. Bischoff wants to address the WCW universe, stating that it has roots dating back to 1905. And that is because they took some of the lineage from the NWA title when Ric Flair was champion and they switched the big gold belt. But yeah, they have roots dating back to 1905. That may not mean anything to Hogan, but it means something to Eric Bischoff and many others within the organization. And Bischoff states his biggest mistake was signing Hogan, and Bischoff says this is going to stop one way or another. I mean, this is going to stop. They can't be coming in taking over the program like that, kind of ruining the show for the fans. Even though I think it was the most compelling thing WCW's done to this point. Last week was crazy. Yeah. So
that was fun watching them take over everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. It just gives you, again, there's something about live TV, compared to, okay, this is WWF's second week and Hershey, like whatever's going to happen ain't that good, or everyone would have heard about it already.
Right.
So, not to say it was bad either. It's just live really did give Nitro an advantage. They could adjust. They could do things on the fly that WWF couldn't at the time. So the night starts with the WCW World Tag Team Champions Public Enemy fighting against El Technico and Juventud Guerrera. Without Googling, does anyone know who El Technico is?
I do.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
I do.
I don't know why he did it, but it's Billy Kidman.
Yep.
It's because the story is Psychosis was supposed to be the partner, but he got stopped at Border Patrol or something. And he missed the show, so they just put him under a stupid costume and wheeled him out there.
El Technico from Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah, still better than Glacier. I'm just gonna throw that out.
Doesn't take much.
How dare you? How dare you besmirch Raymond Lloyd? How dare you?
There's a cold wind blowing in. Feel these nipples.
It's a little chilly.
This match ends when it ends via pinfall. Sorry, I didn't write the end of the match, but I have afterwards because Johnny Grunge sets El Technico up on a table outside of the ring. Rocco Rock bounced off the ring ropes and flipped over, crashing through El Technico and the table. And
Public Enemy won the titles last week.
Yeah. In a very controversial match with Harlem Heat. And I don't think a week has gone by yet without Shivani pronouncing Juventud Guerrera as Guerrero. Just going to throw that out there.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, that's probably why as a kid I always thought he was one of the Guerreros.
Yeah, Zabisco's done correcting him at this point. He's like, okay, if you're not gonna get it, Hoovy's been with the company 2 months now. If you,
That's
right.
Funny.
So Mike Tenay is backstage with Chris Benoit, and Steve Mongo McMichael. Gene Okerlund's been gone the past few weeks, and Mike Tenay's been covering the interviews. Tenay mentions that he noticed Steve Mongo McMichael was not scheduled for tonight, but Mongo states that after last week, where one horseman goes, the others go, and he's here in support of Benoit. And to that point, it feels like since they reformed the Horsemen, they've been kind of a tight-knit unit. But even before Flair got injured, it feels like they've been piecing off Benoit and McMichaels with Deborah over in this corner. And then you've got Arn and Flair with a woman and Liz over in the other. Feels like they're kind of keeping them apart right now, and tonight's no exception. So Tenay asks the Crippler about his main event with Rick Steiner. Benoit states he was able to he gives another one of his promos, another Benoit promo.
I was gonna say
offering to Sting it.
What's that?
The peace offering to Sting, or is that after this?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that comes afterwards.
Yeah. Benoit was one of those people. It's don't cut a promo that's longer than 15 seconds or you're going to hurt yourself. Don't, Chris.
He tries to be prophetic when he says it, to go with the Four Horsemen kind of stuff, which is neat, but it doesn't, I don't know, with him doing it, it just doesn't seem right. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I know what he did. Lines are great.
Yeah, they are. This
But
is his delivery. He doesn't.
is not good.
He doesn't have promo. He never did.
Yeah.
He didn't need it. You know what I mean? He'd just come out, do his little gesture, you know, pop the crowd and
Yep.
you know, go nuts, give yourself another your 30th concussion with your flying headbutt. But he was a machine in the ring. I freaking loved watching Chris Benoit work. You know, and when he went to the Fed and he won the gold, yeah, dude deserved it. But promo, yeah, it was like Bret Hart. Like, bro, your promo game,
He buffed up like the couple stats he needs for in the ring, but he did nothing on the personality side for a while. He got better, but he was never like a real strong promo.
Yeah.
He
Benoit made X-Pac look like a great promo worker. Oh,
there's a good argument that he's
You're not wrong.
no.
I say there's an argument that he's still the WCW champion, you know? I mean, I guess Benoit. I guess he vacated it, but I mean, he won the title on his last appearance in WCW. Never dropped it to anyone.
Well, that would make me still IWE Tag Team Champion. I never lost the belt. After I quit, I just handed it off. So I never lost it. So technically, I've been Tag Team Champion since July of 2017.
Where's your champion pay?
I don't know. I stole a belt. I got one back here.
We get an NWO announcement where they welcome the WCW guys back from Japan, of course, sarcastically, and even young Nick Hogan was there. And the entire gang is in the hotel room drinking, and Nick says that he will be the designated driver. Not sure what he meant by that.
I was gonna say there's a lot of driving Nick Hogan jokes we could make here. I'll take the high road for once.
Is he still in jail?
I think so. I think he is. I was like, I'm watching it, and Tony, you know how my mind works. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, he's gonna kill a guy one day.
We got the beginning of the NWO promos too that says brought to you or paid by NWO. It's like not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, it's
they should have played that maybe on the first and last one, but that got really annoying after 8 to 10 times.
Yep.
So he got out of jail, by the way.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Not long. I think in 2008. But I remember that was a big
it was.
Yeah, he served 166 days. That was a big story.
Yeah. Oh, it was huge because they had their reality show at the time.
Yeah.
And Hulk was dating.
Cover some of it on the reality show, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember.
I didn't watch.
I watched it, but that was another lifetime ago. I was with Satan at the time, so I had nothing better to do.
I think I saw more of the Bella Twins reality show than Hogan's.
Oh.
Well, it's the Bella Twins. You want to see them bend over. Sorry.
I like everyone's always like, man, they're skanks, whatever. I like them. Like in the Royal Rumble this year, they were just handling business.
I could never. I could never stand either of them because they started kind of like they got into the Fed. I think around the time I got into the Indies, so I was I was a huge like mark for Victoria and Beth Phoenix, but that's another just because they were like the best workers, but they never got the push. So Beth did, but
Victoria never like she was talented. Like they could have really strapped a rocket on her, and I think she could have. Not that she didn't do good things when she was there, but
athleticism, looks, her in ring was like superb. She could do like she was a great freaking heel. That was the thing I loved about her is her psychology. She was such a good heel.
Yeah. Like she
Sorry
played,
to derail. Go ahead.
No. She just kind of played like a mentally unstable.
Oh yeah, she had that song by tattoo, that all the things she said running through my head, it worked. Her feud with Trish, like they had. I was never a Trish Stratus fan. I'm not gonna. I'm not saying she's not a beautiful woman. She's not talented. She was great in the ring by the end of her career. You know, she was more than what Vince McMahon wanted to use her for.
Yep.
You know, she rose above that. But yeah, I never saw, like, I mean, like I said, I respect her work. I really do, because she was great. But I was just like, Mickey James is 100 times better than her. Lita was sloppy but good. But Victoria and Molly Holly, I'm like, Trish drew money though, and at the end of the day, it boils down to who draws the money, and Trish drew the money.
Yes.
So,
all right. So, yeah, Nick Hogan was there. He's hanging out with his dad and the NWO tonight, and then we all go back to the ring where Alex Wright, surprising upset, defeats Dean Malenko, who's headed into the pay-per-view this month. He's headed to Halloween Havoc to basically get his rematch against Rey Mysterio. Rey beat Dean for the Cruiserweight title the night after Bash at the Beach. Alex Wright rolls Dean Malenko up and gets the win. And during the match, Shivani and Zbyszko bring up Sting and how he hasn't been seen since he pronounced himself a free agent, and then no-showed his tag match with Luger about 2 weeks ago now. So that's coming up. Yeah. Good time for Sting.
Yeah, and they reveal the NASCAR for him as like a peace offering. And that NASCAR looks terrible.
Yeah.
It looks so bad.
Oh, yeah. Sting's was bad. Kyle Petty's was dope. The NWO one.
The NWO one was tight.
Yeah. That was dope. That car was hot.
I missed it. Like, I used to go to Monster Jam, and you have a Goldberg truck, and Medusa would go on Lundra Blaze. She'd go on to drive her own truck, and wrestling was just so kind of mainstream then. It was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I think NASCAR had 3 WCW cars in total. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe just the 2, but I think they had 3. So we get a clip from last Saturday where Macho Man Randy Savage is wrestling Big Bubba, and Miss Elizabeth is on the ramp watching him. Randy Savage ends up punching Nick Patrick during the match. Tenay is on the ramp, and he announces Randy Savage to come down for an interview and wants to talk about the title shot against Hogan at Halloween Havoc. Macho Man's theme plays, but he never shows up. So we go to a commercial to figure out what's going on with Macho Man, and we actually get a long Slim Jim sweepstakes commercial for Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yep. I love those old commercials.
Yeah.
They're entertaining.
This shit takes me back, man.
So after the commercial, there's still no Randy Savage, but we do have the NWO propagandists in the stands handing out flyers again, and
so they're walking around with their signs.
Yeah, their signs. Yeah,
because they got a huge NWO chant going when they started walking around with their signs, and you can see it like that right there, dude. Just that. That's all it was, and people were like, "I need that. I need that." And hell yeah,
it works, man.
It does. It does, man. And they were supposed to be, the big bad heels, but the cool heels, that sells merch and it gets over. That was the thing about the NWO is they were every wrestling fan. I don't care if you like heels or baby faces. You look at the NWO and like that shit is cool. Like that they are cool. Like I said, you had Hall and Nash had the sweat. That's why I love Scott Hall. Like I said, I modeled my career after his, good and bad. But he had charisma. Kevin Nash had charisma, and you had old ass Hollywood Hogan out there trying to be,
Hogan cared. Where Hall and Nash didn't care. Hogan cared.
Hogan did care. Hall and Nash that's why they were so fucking over, is because they didn't care. They were just like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And everybody's like, that attitude. It got them, it endeared them to the people. But I say this as somebody who loved Hollywood Hogan, like to the point where I showed you guys the picture. I bleached my goatee and I went out for a wrestling show as him at Halloween before. But yeah, it's just he was trying too hard and they weren't trying, and that's how they got over. And it was funny. It really was. And did you see Sags? Yeah, it was Jerry Sags with Nick. Like when him and Knobs had Hogan's kid, like during the promos in the back, you could see that like Nick was completely like, because Brian Knobs and Hogan, you know, they're legit friends. So like Jerry Sags too, and you could see like Nick was like so comfortable with them. They're like, you know, it was like they almost broke kayfabe during that promo with the kid.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny if you're paying attention to it. I'm like, they're fucking breaking kayfabe all over the place.
Yeah. So, and we get your boy Etep. We get Jim Powers, and he does the job to Eddie Guerrero in 6 minutes 27 seconds.
Bullshit.
When Eddie hits it, no Guerrero.
Jim Powers won. That was bullshit.
He hits
I
Jim
met
Powers.
Jim Powers when I was a child.
Did you?
I met Jim Powers and the Bushwhackers at
Bushwhackers.
some weird thing. It was like there's this place near me. It's like it's on the water, and there's like a bunch of little shops, and there's like a restaurant. And for some reason, during Halloween, they were there. So I went, and I remember Luke from the Bushwhackers licked my head. And then I didn't even know who Jim Powers was, but he had a bunch of muscles. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I was like 6 or something.
That's awesome. So
he's a famous jobber.
I've mentioned a few times I'm from Las Vegas, man. So me and one of my best friends, we were out on the strip. We were drinking some cognac one night, and then the Palms is just right off the strip. So by the time we walked to the vehicle and we drove off, we had to pee again, so we stopped at the Palms to do so. And we're coming out of the bathroom, and this tall blonde just walks right past me. I'm thinking, that looks like Tori Wilson. This is probably around the end of 2000, because I look at my buddy, his jaw's on the floor. I'm like, that's not actually Tori Wilson, is it? And we turn around, and there's her and Billy Kidman, and they were together at the time. And they're standing over by one of the blackjack tables. So we go over and say hi to them, and they were in town because No Way Out 2001 was out here with the Triple H, Steve Austin, 3 Stages of Hell. And the tickets were going on sale the next day, but it was also the same month that Tori had done her first Playboy. So that was just kind of cool to like randomly run into them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That
Yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I met a few of them from the convention scene. Kevin Nash, he was staring at me because we were across the way, like the way they had Artist Alley set up, and then they had the celebrities.
Pat Patterson.
Well, I don't know. He was just pissed. Like he just had that, you know, he always had like resting bitch face. So I didn't know what was going on. I walked by just to say hi to him. Like, hey, bro, you do good work, man. I'm like, oh, dude, thanks. I'm like, yeah, if you want to stop by, goes, yeah, I'll swing by later. And he does. And dude, this guy was just, he had like his deviated septum. So he came over for a photo, and he's just like, it was like, I thought the air conditioner was broken above me. It was, but he picked up some artwork. It was pretty cool. I had to turn him down on the piece, though. I had an Incredible Hulk, and he's like, yeah, I want that one. I'm like, oh, it's a couple just they already bought it. It was like poster size in the frame. He's like, and his breathing, like, I thought he was pissed. I'm like, if there's anything else you want, he's like, oh, I'm a Beatles fan. And I had, like, you know, one of the covers I had done, I made it a print as well. And he's like, yeah, I want that. That's awesome. All right, thanks, man. He was just like
cool,
so laid back. I don't know if he was pissed, happy, but he had like no emotion.
He's probably on Somas, dog.
Probably.
That's Nash's like drunken choice is Soma.
You should have acted like you knew him from Ninja Turtles 2 or Punisher or something. Like,
yeah. Wait, weren't you in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler? Yeah, I thought I recognized you.
I should have just started going, go, Ninja,
Super
go,
Shredder.
Ninja, go.
Nice.
So we have another NWO announcement. And the Nasty Boys show up to the hotel room. Last week, Hogan asked them to come to his suite. They've been friends for years. He has some he has some business he wants to discuss with them. And obviously that didn't happen last week because they're showing up this week to his suite and still really don't know what's going on. And did you guys notice this is the first time we kind of get a mention of the word wolf pack for the NWO?
Mm-hmm.
Hogan was wearing a shirt and it said Hollywood's Wolf Pack on it. It's kind of cool.
Little foreshadowing.
Yep. So we round out the first hour. Mike Tenay is backstage with Arn Anderson and Miss Elizabeth. Tenay asks why Elizabeth, and this doesn't make sense. Why was she the only Horseman representative on Nitro last week when the rest were in Japan? And she had been acting scared of the NWO since Fall Brawl when they spray painted her and beat the hell out of Randy Savage. And it's like, so then you're going to stay behind when you know they're going to be at the show and all of your friends are gone? Like,
yeah.
Just didn't make like, even if you do care for Randy Savage, it just didn't make sense. But Anderson basically he tells Liz, you know, the Horsemen, they win or lose together as a cohesive unit, and he understands she had a weak moment at Fall Brawl when she tried to run to Randy Savage's aid, but she's either with the Horsemen or she's not. There's no gray area. You're either in or out, and if you're in, you need to be all the way in. And she's apologizing. I think Arn bought it a little more than Woman, who wasn't buying into Liz's shit. I mean, she was just shaking her head like, girl, what are you doing? Yeah, and he also, Arn Anderson mentions it later on, he has a big match with a fine young talent. So I'll leave everyone in hour one with that cliffhanger. Who is the fine young talent? So we jump into hour two, and WWF Raw is starting, and the current WWF champions are as follows. The world champion, Shawn Michaels. He's been the WWF champion since WrestleMania, his Iron Man match with Brett. And really, we haven't seen Brett live since that match. He's done a couple pre-taped interviews, had a couple things to say, and he had worked some house shows, but Brett hasn't been on WWF TV there in the arena in person since WrestleMania now. I kind of... RGT, did you see the Iron Man match between Shawn and Brett?
Retrospectively.
Like, it makes me... It wasn't Brett's job to beat Shawn. It was Shawn's job to beat Brett, the WWF champion. And he couldn't score a pinfall on Bret Hart for the entire hour. And then the match ends, the timer runs out, Bret Hart has Shawn Michaels square in the ring in a sharpshooter. So, in my opinion, Bret Hart won. He defended himself against the challenger for an entire hour and basically had him squarely beat in the center of the ring. And shout out to Maria with T and Telly. Thank you for joining us. But then they come out and say, they put, 5 minutes of overtime, and then Shawn Michaels comes back, pins Bret Hart, and wins. And I just think that's kind of weird booking. Like, I really feel like they should have just had Shawn Michaels hit a super kick in the last 20, 30 seconds of the match. Because, I mean, just the logic behind that is weird. Like, Bret had Shawn Michaels defeated. He defended himself for an hour without taking a pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure some of it probably had to do with, you know, because they didn't really get along. So it was probably that was probably the compromise. And yeah, it didn't turn out as good as it could have because of the wonky ending. But you know, if the plan was for Shawn to go over, and that's the only way that Bret would be okay with it, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. But you know, they had so much bad blood, and it was like, what is Vince gonna do? You know, if he says, you know, go fuck yourself to one of them, they'd haul ass out of there. So it, you know, it doesn't matter. You had to stay within yourself a bit.
Yeah, and like talking about bad blood, like Shawn would never reciprocate that victory that Bret gave him. You know,
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels' ego wouldn't let him do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know,
Did it start from the tag team days?
Oh,
Their hatred.
who him
I
and
don't
Brett?
know because you have Survivor Series '92 where they were the main event when they were, because Brett was the champion because steroids, and that's what everyone was talking about. And that match, it seemed fine, but I think it was more along the lines of the money started coming in and people like Hall and Nash were getting these big guaranteed contracts from WCW. Michaels thought, well, I could do whatever the fuck I want because if they fire me, who cares? I'll go work with my buddies, or I could become, a piece of shit here and make them do what I want them to do. So I think it was more. I don't think the animosity was necessarily from Michaels to Brett, but the fact that Brett would be like, no, fuck you, like quit acting like a child. I think that's what more caused it, and that's why it became what it was.
Calling out the bullshit that usually makes you an enemy.
Yeah, Brett never dealt with any bullshit. He was straightforward and very matter of fact. Yeah, and Michaels is at that time partying and the Clique. Well, the Clique had just ended, but all that, he was the champion. He was the chosen one. He had all the stroke in the company. So yeah, and that was it. RGT mentioned it right. He's like, if I get fired, I can just go down to Atlanta and they're going to pay me all the dough because I'm Shawn fucking Michaels.
Yeah, around this time he misses Diesel, Razor, and Six. He wants to go down there and be with them. And it's weird how it would turn out the other way.
I think it said that in his book, because I read his book, Between Heartbreak and Triumph or something like that. I think I mentioned that in his book. Yeah, he wanted a release at one point.
When you kind of look at it from the tribalism perspective too, like Bret Hart was kind of the locker room leader until he left, and then Taker would kind of take over that role. But then you have the Clique over here and their own like little faction within the locker room, which is politic in their way. And I mean, I'm not going to blame them. You got to do what you got to do to get ahead. I mean, I'm sure it's all politics backstage, but
it is. And if you don't play the game, you don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
you'll be mid card, or you'll be lower card, or you'll be out.
Yep. So Monday Night Raw starts, and you're going to like the ending to this match, Vinny.
Oh, yeah?
Monday Night Raw starts. First, we get a recap of Jim Ross. He's shooting on the WWF and Vince McMahon, talking about all the times Vince fired him. Vince fired him a few days after he got hit with Bell's palsy. And then it shows Jim Ross debuting the fake Razor Ramon. And Diesel's in the building tonight. So we go to a rematch from King of the Ring. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Jake Roberts. This match would last 8 minutes and 45 seconds, and it ends with a Stone Cold Stunner and a pinfall after Jerry Lawler took a swig of Jim Beam and spit it in Jake Roberts' face. And it's so wrong.
It's fucking dirty.
It was great. It was great. That's like some shit that I would have when I was booking, I would have been like, hey, let's do this. This'll get over.
Did they try to grab his snake and get that drunk too?
Here, Damien, just pouring it in the bag on him and shit, shaking it up.
Not quick, some cocaine as well.
Kevin Kelly calls Austin beating Jake Roberts a travesty of justice. We'll see if he's saying that a year from now. So Lawler and Austin team up on Jake Roberts until Savio Vega runs out with a Caribbean strap to save Jake Roberts. Jim Ross mentions Bret Hart is upset about Steve Austin's recent remarks. He's been saying that Steve has been saying that he's the best there ever was. So Bret Hart has something to say about that. Unfortunately, we won't be hearing about it. We won't be hearing what Bret has to say tonight. But it is announced Stone Cold Steve Austin will face Savio Vega. This is, I think, their third or fourth match on TV now. They'll be facing each other at Mind Games, and I'm pretty sure Steve Austin's got the win here. I think Savio kind of won that feud between the two, so now they're really starting to push Stone Cold a little harder. I think they want him to get that victory back over Savio. So we get a segment of Mankind. He's digging a hole in a cemetery, and Paul Bearer says he doesn't need to do this because at Buried Alive, the Undertaker will dig his own grave. Over on Nitro, the second hour starts with Hugh Morris defeating Brad Armstrong in 4 minutes and 15 seconds after not one, but two no laughing matters. During the match, the commentators wonder if the Nasty Boys are officially NWO now. They also question where the Macho Man is. After the match, we see Arn and Woman backstage questioning Miss Elizabeth's loyalties again. Then they go out for Anderson's match against the Fine Young Talent. Bischoff says after we go to a commercial, come back, Bischoff says that he needs to find out the situation at the NWO's hotel and where Randy Savage might be. He tells Shivani, if you want, you can come back up, take over my play-by-play spot, but I need to go. And Bischoff takes off the headset and leaves. And we won't see him for the rest of the show. Over on, which is weird. When we get to the end of the show, I'll bring it up. But that's a little, it's a little weird how they played that out. But on Raw, Hunter Hearst Helmsley comes to the ring and he challenges Mr. Perfect to a match at Mind Games for the past few weeks now. Number one, backstage, Hunter's still paying for the curtain call at Madison Square Garden. But one way they're having him lose is Mr. Perfect's coming out, stealing his escorts and bringing him to the back. It distracts him, and whoever his opponent may be ends up getting the win over Triple H. So he says he wants to face Mr. Perfect at Buried Alive, and then he joins the commentary team. And that's for the Godwins versus Jason and Jared Grimm. And the Godwins did go over here in 4 minutes, 24 seconds via pinfall. During the match, Mr. Perfect accepts Triple H's Mind Game Challenge. He came in like picture-in-picture and told Triple H he'll see him at Mind Games, Buried Alive. Then over on Nitro, we get Arn Anderson with Woman. And his opponent tonight is Chris Jericho. Chris is still kind of... He debuted about a month and a half ago, and he's still kind of stuck in that sympathetic babyface role that isn't really doing him any favors. Kind of sounds like the crowd has a little bit of go-away heat for him, so I think it's still quite a few months away, but when he turns heel, that's a good run. He was an awesome heel in WCW.
Oh, yeah. Jericho, dude, hitting Prince Iak in the head with the scale, calling him a Nakamaki, calling him fat.
Ron Mysterio Jr.
Ron Mysterio.
It was always entertaining.
Yeah.
Jericho was... dude, remember that was the debut of the list. He had the list of all Dean Malenko's holds. Hold 963, armbar.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
It was because I kind of saw his career. Like, I went to a Nitro and he was Cruiserweight champion. Yep. And then Halloween Havoc, I believe it was Halloween Havoc in 98. He comes back and he's the TV champion, the television champion. Mm-hmm. And then the next time I see him is at No Way Out for WWF, and he's Intercontinental Champion in a three-way match, I think, with Benoit and Angle. It might have been... I know it was Benoit, but I think it was Angle. No. Angle wrestled The Rock. It was someone else. But, yeah, so then he was Intercontinental Champion, and then the next time I see him at a show, he's the Undisputed Champion.
Yep.
Yeah, headed towards Triple H WrestleMania. Yeah, so like it's cool. I got to kind of see step by step through the live shows I was going to, and saw him go from Cruiserweight champion to the Undisputed Champion, and winning that by defeating Steve Austin and The Rock in one night. So good for him. Here he's not as lucky though. He eats a DDT from Arn Anderson after missing a lion salt. Then in classic Bobby Heenan fashion. I like Bobby Heenan. But at Bash at the Beach, he's like, but whose side is he on for Hogan? And no, it didn't really spoil it, but it made you question, took you out of the moment for a second. And then what did he do a couple weeks ago? Yeah, Ted DiBiase comes out. Nobody knows why he's there. Everyone's wondering who the fourth member of the NWO is going to be. DiBiase sits down in the front row. He flashes the 4 Horsemen sign. And through the entire rest of the episode, Bischoff is like, what does he have to do with the 4 Horsemen? What does he have to do with... And then Bobby Heenan, or maybe he's the 4th member of the NWO. And you hear Bischoff seething through the headset. Like, we're giving away Raw's spoilers, not ours, dude.
Mm-hmm. Damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, in classic Heenan fashion.
God damn it, Bobby, ain't you? It's 8:30 at night. We're at the top of the hour. We ain't even yet. And this boy ain't right. Giving away spoilers. Son of a bitch.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So,
barbecue sauce.
The match ends and they're talking about where Bischoff could be. And Bobby Heenan says, well, maybe he's part of the NWO now. Like, dude, stop. And since we got the magic words, I gotta play it.
Eric Bischoff is a no good, lousy son of a bitch. Hey! Come on, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch, don't you hear me? That son of a bitch! You have no conscience. Does he have no heart? Do you have no soul? You son of a bitch! I'm Triple H! You son of a bitch!
I am reality.
He's a son of a bitch if you ask me. The Rock just put Billy Gunn's face in that large woman's ass.
That's so great.
Poor Billy Gunn.
His career.
Yeah.
So, now he's helping with his sons.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. So Heenan drops another spoiler. Then we go back to Raw, and an expose is shown on Jeff Jarrett. And we see that Double J is a fraud, and it was actually the roadie who was singing With My Baby Tonight. His real name is Jesse James, and that makes him the real Double J.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And
the D.O. Double J.
Like, this was longer than it needed to be, too. Like, this was a good chunk of time this little segment took.
Yeah. I think that's when I nodded off, was during that segment.
It's
honestly,
like, who cares who sang that song?
Yeah, honestly, and I'm surprised that I don't know, would I fell asleep quicker during that segment or Shang-Chi? But no, it was. I'm like, what? I don't give a shit about their music drama. I don't care. I don't like that. I just remember like looking back now at that angle, be like, wow, that's, I understand what you're trying to do with Jeff Jarrett, and this is just,
it was awful. Like, Jeff Jarrett isn't worth the investment to me. Like, he's a good, like, upper level, intercontinental champion, maybe an off-brand pay-per-view challenging for the title, but he's just, I'm sorry, I know there are Double J fans out there, but he just isn't at that level for me.
How dare you?
Very easily.
Fucking dare you say that about the chosen one?
So, after the commercial over on Nitro, Elizabeth is shown leaving the arena with a paper, possibly a contract in her hand. So then we get the total package Lex Luger defeating M. Wall Street in 7 minutes, 23 seconds via torture rack. After the match, Shivani announces that Bischoff has a surprise for Sting and brings out the former WCW NASCAR that is now Draven's favorite car, the Sting NASCAR. And that's as a sign of peace for mistrusting him. And
the car looks like crap.
It looked like dog shit. It was like
it doesn't even look like Sting.
That's just a car.
It's driven by Elliot Sadler, and I'm like, is that the chick from Jurassic Park after transitioning? It's Elliot Sadler.
You couldn't have picked a better NASCAR driver than that. They're like, hey, who do we got there? Like Elliott Sadler. Like, Jesus Christ, as long as it wasn't Kyle fucking Park, we're all right. Like, this motherfucker can't finish one lap. Elliott Sadler at least will finish half a race. That's when I used to watch NASCAR. It was a different time in my life. I'm not proud of it.
So
screw you, Danica Patrick. Screw you.
Yeah, you bitch, Danica Patrick.
Savio Vega faces fake Razor Ramon tonight on Raw, and he actually wins via DQ when fake Diesel, which is Kane, but I mean, God, his face looks fat as fake Diesel.
Oh
yeah. He comes to the ring, pulls down the top rope on Savio Vega. That causes a DQ. Then the fake outsiders hit their finishers on Savio Vega, the Razor's Edge and the Jackknife Powerbomb. And then Jim Ross says on commentary, and this is one thing, they always go back in history and talk about what a bad idea this was. But, I mean, how they're playing it out on TV, like, you see how cheesy it is. And then Jim Ross, who's, like, turning heel, shooting on the WWF, and Vince is like, now the WWF knows how it feels to be embarrassed. Like, that was the intent, so.
Yeah, they were really giving that the hard sell, that fake Razor and Diesel. Like, and they look nothing like.
But see,
like,
that's kind of
Scott Hall and whatever, and he's like, I never said Scott Hall and all that.
Yeah.
We're gonna be coming in here.
Yep.
Yeah, but that it seems like that's the intent. Now the thing is, we're at the end of September here, and then I watched the 97 Royal Rumble not too long ago, and fake Diesel's running down in that, and it's kind of like, so now I can kind of see why they down on it a bit, because if it was a quick storyline or something, if it was just meant for Jim Ross's heel turn, and like they're obviously showing you, this isn't the real Diesel and Razor. It's not like they were trying to pull one over on the fans or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I saw him running out for the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, he's still. Were they really around that long? Like, it didn't feel like that when I was younger, but I guess so. So, by the time the Royal Rumble hits, they've been there like 3-4 months. So, yeah.
Like keeping parody gimmicks around like that for that length of time, not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
And, like Draven mentioned, Jim Ross is just playing semantics. Gorilla Monsoon is, well, that's not Diesel and Razor. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash over here. Well, I never said I was bringing in Nash and Hall. Yeah, but you were sure giving that idea that that's what the plan was. So, over on and then we get Undertaker, and he's shown in the same cemetery digging Mankind's grave, so Mankind can rest in peace.
Paul Bearer was great during those promos.
Yeah, he was.
His wailing, ooh!
Yeah. And it's like, he's good with Mankind, but Mankind didn't really need him. Like, he was given some of the best promos of his career leading into SummerSlam. I mean, screaming at the rat in the boiler room like that poor rat that doesn't understand context. Yeah. So the Faces of Fear with Jimmy Hart defeat the Rock and Roll Express via pinfall when the Barbarian hits a kick of fear after a small distraction from Jimmy Hart jumping on the ring apron. Now, the Public Enemy, the tag champs, who will be facing the Outsiders at Halloween Havoc, run out for no reason at all and attack the Faces of Fear, only to get absolutely decimated by the Barbarian and Ming. And it kind of makes him look stupid. Like, this isn't your fight, dude.
The Faces of Fear, I'm not gonna. I freaking love them. They were like badass. You know what I mean? Like I was like, the Outsiders are my favorite. Like, it's a toss between the Outsiders and the Road Warriors for my favorite tag team ever. But I love the Faces of Fear just because, they were just these big brutes, and Ming is a goddamn monster. He was the Undertaker's enforcer in like the Bone Street crew, you know. Between him and Farouk and Bradshaw, but
it didn't make sense to me though, because that's a big match. You're defending the championships against these two outsiders who've been dominating any and everything. And you decide to get involved with the Rock and Roll Express in the Faces of Fear. Like, it's weird booking.
The Rock and Roll Express versus the Faces of Fear is weird booking as it is. Like, it's, I got a soft spot for them going back to the NWA. Plus, Ricky Morton, you know, he's the uncle of the guy who started Train Me, Shane. Yeah. So, yeah, it was crazy seeing them in 1996 wrestling on Nitro. You know what I mean? Like, they're and Ricky still had that damn mullet. Oh,
so
he had
that's
it.
how I feel about.
He still has it.
Yeah, he does. He hasn't shaved it. I've seen pictures of him at conventions and shit. So it's like, he's been holding on to that since the 80s.
It's kind of how I feel like seeing like Billy Gunn in AEW. Like, dude, I didn't think I'd ever see you again in like 2013, dude.
Yeah.
Here you are every week. So we get another NWO hotel segment. They're eating pizza and drinking with the Nasty Boys. The Dom Perignon about to be delivered, and Kyle Petty's with them now. He's the official NWO NASCAR driver. He's hanging out there laughing at the stupid WCW Sting car. Then we go over to Raw for the main event. Vader and Jim Cornette defeat Shawn Michaels and your boy Jose Lothario via pinfall. Like, Vader puts Shawn away every time except for in SummerSlam main events. Vader hits Shawn Michaels with the Vader bomb, gets the victory. Then after the match, he attempts to Vader bomb Shawn Michaels again, but Psycho Sid runs to the ring to make the save. Then Goldust hits the ring, and Goldust and Vader surround Sid. They're about to attack him, but Shawn Michaels recovers, starts bombing on Goldust. Sid starts fighting with Vader, and it's just a big Pier 6 brawl as Raw goes off the air. Over on Nitro, Chris Benoit with Steve McMichael and Deborah defeats Rick Steiner in 4 minutes 25 seconds via pinfall when Steve Mongo McMichael breaks up a suplex Rick Steiner's attempting on Benoit. Steve Mongo McMichael hits Rick Steiner with the Halliburton briefcase, giving his fellow horseman the win. And then we go back to the hotel room, and Miss Elizabeth is in the hotel room now with the NWO. The Giant's telling her that they look out for one another. Hogan's trying to butter her up, saying anything she wants. He can get her a 3-movie deal. He's going off next week to film 3 Ninjas.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. The third one. I love the first movie. That was such a classic. Like, I love the first 3 Ninjas. So, Hogan basically tells Liz he'll turn her into a star. Elizabeth says that they don't understand, and she leaves the hotel room. She's unsure of what to do. And in the hallway, we finally see Randy Savage making his debut for the evening. And he's yelling at Liz like it's WWF locker room in 1991. Like,
yep.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing here? And he's yelling at her as the broadcast goes off the air. No Bischoff, which it's like they were minutes away from the arena and Bischoff left an hour ago. So what's he up to, you know?
He got stuck in traffic.
Yeah. So let's take a quick look at some of the takeaways from tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. Let's check out some of the takeaways from the night of September 30th, 1996, starting with WCW Monday Nitro. This Stinger is missing. We haven't heard nor seen from Sting since about 2-3 weeks ago when he declared himself a free agent. Speaking of missing, where the hell is Gene Okerlund? I'm getting way too much Mike Tenay every Monday than I would hope to get. Some serious TNA vibes here. He's covering all the interviews in the first hour, and then he sits on commentary, spitting pointless fucking facts into my ear for the entire second hour. Mike, too much, bro. Stop drinking the water in Jersey. Why was Macho Man at the NWO's hotel room? We did see him at the end of the night when he confronted Miss Elizabeth. He was notably missing from Nitro. What exactly was his plan? What was he going to do there? And speaking of Miss Elizabeth, where do her loyalties lie? Throughout the night, Woman and Arn Anderson kept letting her know that she's either all in with the Horsemen or she's not, but there is no gray area. Then we see her in the NWO hotel room getting pitched by Giant and Hulk Hogan. No, not that kind of pitched. And why did Bischoff leave the broadcast so early, almost an hour early? Where was he? Because he obviously wasn't at the hotel room. What is the relationship between the NWO and the Nasty Boys? What kind of deal have they worked out? The NWO had ordered room service, had ordered Dom Perignon, was really trying to get in good with the Nasty Boys. Why? And we also have the Halloween Havoc card, the updated card for October 27th of 1996, your main event for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Savage is going to challenge Hollywood Hogan. We've also got the WCW World Tag Team Championship on the line as the Public Enemy defend against the Outsiders. Also on the card is the Total Package Lex Luger versus AA Arn Anderson. We also have Eddie Guerrero versus Diamond Dallas Page in a Lord of the Ring match. This is a follow-up to the feud they've been having for the past month or so. Also, we have the WCW World Cruiserweight Championship on the line as Dean Malenko challenges Rey Mysterio and attempts to regain his Cruiserweight Championship. Over on Raw, Bret Hart will soon respond to Steve Austin's comments. Austin was stating that he was in fact the best there ever was. We also have build up to the In Your House Buried Alive card taking place on October 20th, a week before Halloween Havoc, main evented with Undertaker versus Mankind in a Buried Alive match. We've got Psycho Sid versus Vader. Steve Austin versus Savio Vega is also on the card. I believe Steve Austin will walk away with the win on this one. We also have Hunter Hearst Helmsley challenging Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect has been coming in during Hunter's matches, taking his valets to the back, stealing them from Triple H. So we're going to find out what happens here. How will this be handled between Mr. Perfect and Hunter Hearst Helmsley? I guess we'll find out on October 20th. Yeah, so an eventful night, maybe not as hectic as last week, but a lot going on, a lot of questions, and yeah, good time to be a fan.
The Nasty Boys in the NWO. Whatever will we do?
If they really wanted to bribe the Nasty Boys, all they had to do is get him a couple fake teeth.
Yeah. Maybe a rent payment.
All they want for Christmas is the 2 front teeth.
That's like my kid right now. He lost both his front teeth at the same time. He looks like a hockey player. He's terrifying. I'm like, I can't even look at you. I'm like, don't look at me.
Little goon.
He is.
Oh man.
He is. And then he walks up and punches me.
Those slaps last night were hilarious.
Oh yeah, he chopped the shit out of me. Like, he was working stiff too. I was like, "You dang! I never worked that stiff unless somebody needed to get potatoed." God damn it! I'm like, he's laying him in. I was like, and then he hurt his hand. I was like, I had my big chain on. I was like, you hit my chain.
Yeah. So, weird thing happened the other day, on Sunday, actually, May 1st. I woke up and I was telling you I was watching DiBiase and Randy Savage from WrestleMania 4.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting ready for work and I'm like, I want to watch some like old wrestling from the 80s. I had all the results for this typed up. Why not? And I put it on, and then I ended up watching the whole Mega Powers explode leading into WrestleMania 5, and Miss Elizabeth is all in the middle of that. And at the end of 4, she's crying in the ring. They're handing Savage the title, and you could really see it in her eyes, like all the years of sacrifice and hard work. And her man finally got what he had been yearning for, what he had been working for since he started his career. So I went to Google a couple things, and I was looking up some stuff on Miss Elizabeth, and it was 19 years ago to the day that she passed away, May 1st, 2003.
Wow.
Damn.
So it just I don't usually wake up and put on 80s wrestling. It was really kind of off for me. Usually I'll have the news on or just whatever my wife is watching. So I saw that, and it made me like, where does the time go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Miss Elizabeth. still think she is a badass. Still, you know, watching years later, like watching her work. You know, she was good at what she did, and she seemed like, compared to like a Sunny or a Sable, like they're beautiful, but Miss Elizabeth, she seemed innocent, and like she had those doe eyes, and
she was classy. You know, you look at you not, and that's not to say she wasn't like, you know, sexy, but she was like in a different way. She was like elegant. Like you look at Sunny. I mean, Sunny's like, yeah, you know, I mean now, I mean, you know,
Sunny ain't wifey material, but
no, Miss Elizabeth was like, yeah, you look at her, it's like, yeah, that's something you take home to mom. No, Sonny's a ring rat. Sonny's a glorified ring rat. I mean, let's be honest. That's all she. Yeah, I mean, I told you guys the Lawler and Miss Jacqueline story. So that was, you know, the locker room down in Memphis with Jacqueline back there, you know, just kind of doing the rounds, going behind her head, and everybody. Yeah,
this Jackie was a saint.
No, not Jackie. Not Jackie. Not. I told you guys that a while ago. Not Jack. Yeah. See, not Jackie Gator that married Charlie Haas. Miss Texas, Jacqueline.
I know Jacqueline.
Oh,
she was
okay.
a saint.
All right.
Don't you dare speak ill of her. So, guys, let's go ahead and go around and plug our channels, anything we got going on. And
can I say one more thing, wrestling related?
Yeah.
Fuck Sabu. All right, go ahead, move on.
Wow. Whoa.
Now this can of worms is open.
Whoa. That's a top 3 for me.
I worked shows with Sabu for a long time.
I met him once.
Yeah. We'll talk about this one off air.
I forgot to tell you guys my Rob Van Dam stories last week when we went off air. Like I got to tell you guys that. All I'll say is at the time I was managing a strip club, and then his best friend who actually introduced, you know, Rob Van Dam and Van Dam's wife, you know, he was a mutual friend of both and introduced him. He was a DJ at another strip club in town, and yeah, Rob Van Dam can get pretty wild, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that off air. Like he might, you know, have a chance to show up in the Royal Rumble next year or something. I don't want to fuck that up for him. Yes. RGT, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. You can find me on all forms of social media as RGT85. I make videos about video games and things of that nature. And yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a fun time.
Dude, thanks for coming on, and you're all welcome back anytime. And yeah, I watch this man's videos every day. He talks about video game news, reviews. I'm the biggest Zelda fan, man, like for so long, and I'm just like on the edge of my seat waiting for Breath of the Wild 2. So I saw your video today, and that was interesting.
Yeah, it is. When you actually look at what which character it was, it's kind of like, well, how's that gonna work? So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Like, not to, you know, because I could talk about it all night, but after Age of Calamity, and they kind of left that string open where the champion's descendants, you know, from when you're playing the game, like Riju, and the other ones, like they came back in time 100 years to help the heroes, and then they went back to their time, you know, post Breath of the Wild. So that's kind of been in the back of my mind, wondering if that was going to end up, you know, playing out in the second game or not. But yeah, it's interesting. Definitely. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Oh, yeah, man, no problem.
Mr. Etep Wokuian.
Oh, hi. Jesus, I'm in glorious HD. Hi, I'm Etep Wokuian of the Place to Be Reviews. You should come over and subscribe. I have a couple shows. This guy Tony's my co-host. We have a thing called the Monday Night Going in Raw every Monday night, 8:35 Eastern, on not on Superstation TBS, but right here on the Tube of You. You can join us, and We have Wednesday night going rogue. It's going rogue again on Wednesday nights. We have episode 52 coming up this week. And let's see what else. I've got Nitro from October 2nd, 1995. My review of that'll be dropping for channel members on, what's today, Tuesday. It'll be dropping on Thursday. I'll make that public on Friday. I'm a few days behind on production because the way my work schedule's been this week. I've had to work the shoot, so apologies. I haven't been able to get out single release videos, but, 2 live streams last night. I was on Supreme Heretics earlier. I'm here now. We got 2 live streams tomorrow and videos through the weekend. So we'll be back to our regular production schedule next week, though. Yeah, come on over, subscribe if you want to become a Kazooian. Where the hell are the kazoos at? We're giving away. God bless it. They're here. I promise they're here. We're giving away kazoos. For the, like I said, channel members get a kazoo. You get one of the old school Pete Daddy Dollar trading cards. And the stickers. I gotta give the stickers some love because Chris Fisk made these. One of the Horsemen from Monday night made the logo, the Dharma Place to Be Reviews logo stickers for me. Thank you, Chris. But yeah, and I review horrible TV shows. Some good stuff too. Batwoman got canceled. My life is a mess right now. I'm back in therapy.
It's all about picking up the pieces, and
I don't have my weekly dose of lesbicans. I don't know what to do. I've got my Funko that Rookie Critic sent me. I might need to call Marvin Gaye. I don't know. But no, I'll be reviewing House of the Dragon coming up, and as well as the Amazon Lord of the Rings show, as I'm sure 50% of those shows will be garbage. Which 50%? You tell me. And yeah, that's it. We do pop culture videos and movie reviews. I'm not sure if I'm going to see Doctor Strange. Like I said, if the wife wants to go, would take the kid, I'm going to go, but I'm not going to just go watch it. So if I do go see it, we'll probably do a live stream or something and talk about it. But that's the future. I'll shut up now because I sound like Culture Casino. I've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. I love you guys. Thank you all.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you, brother, as always, man. Love you, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Next up, we have Mr. Angelous Draven.
Hey guys, I do gaming over on my Twitch and YouTube. Right now I'm playing Elden Ring. I'm gonna probably get back into some Final Fantasy 14 because they dropped some new MSQ over there. And then obviously I want to play some more Fortnite as well. So yeah, you can check me out on that. And then tomorrow I'll be over on Etep's stream. What time is that, Etep?
9 Eastern.
9 Eastern. I'm really bad at times and stuff. But yeah, it should be a good time. Thanks for having me as always. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It's always a pleasure every time you're on, brother.
Thanks for having me.
And the man himself, Mr. Vinnie Tartamello.
What up, everybody? Yeah, if you could, be sure to back my projects here. Shadow of the Kraken, newest one. The files are at the printer. We're having a little bit of a back and forth right now, so it looks like it should be about another week and a half, I think, before I can get the main copies. But yeah, this is going to be my 6th campaign that's going to be fulfilling very soon. So this one's all completed, 52 pages, perfect bound. Did everything on here, wrote it, drew it, colored it, lettering, you name it. So if you guys want an awesome pirate story with hot chicks, adventure, action, all that great stuff, it's going to be coming at you, and it's going to be coming fast and hard and in your face. No, but as always, yeah, you can check me out over at VinnieArt. We have live streams over there. We get a little bit crazy sometimes. With some more characters as always. But yeah, also the tour reviews. I put up another one tonight, so check that out if you could. I did a custom build on Wanda, it was Wanda Maximoff. She wasn't Scarlet Witch yet. From the Age of Ultron, that look. Very cool looking piece.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of stitched her together with bits and pieces here and there off of eBay. But it looks awesome. I have some other reviews up as well. NECA, McFarlane, all that kind of shit. Because that's my background. So yeah, go check it all out. We're gonna have fun. I might do some more art classes again on my channel. I don't know when yet, because yeah, fulfillment's gonna keep me very busy. So but hey, it's a good thing. So check out all this great stuff, and yeah, everyone in chat, everyone in panel, much love. You guys have a great night.
Oh yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
guys, go check out Shadow of the Kraken. That's gonna be, like Vinny said, shipping real soon. This man works hard, and he's he's a master of his craft. I mean, this art in this book looks amazing. Go get Through the Woods. I can personally testify that's an amazing story. First time I read through it, just one sitting, I couldn't put it down. And that,
Yeah, as always,
Through the
those are
Woods was
still
great.
available. Yeah, they're available, and they're at the bottom of the campaign too for anybody. Just click on the links. Yeah, those books down here, they ship right away. Put the order
Yep,
in. They're
the
in the
art
mail next
books are
day.
really good too.
Yes, they are.
Thanks, man.
I got City of Venus and the art book, and they're both excellent.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you,
We do
Vinny.
it. Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you everyone for joining us. Also, make sure to check out Chris Fisk's project, The Infinitel Chronicles. Book 1, The War of the Trees. That's an amazing book as well. He's also got he's working on the sequel right now. He has some cool ideas coming up. He's 3D printing out his figures, and they're going to come with a chip, and that's going to do all kinds of cool stuff. So
It's
for you
amazing.
collectors out there, yeah.
Yeah, Chris is a legend, man. It's his first campaign, and he's more professional than anyone else I've ever seen.
He's the most talented guy I know. Like, he is so technically savvy. You know, like, you see some people that are good at like graphic design, or some people can they're okay at coding, you know, computer programming or this or that. He can kind of do a little bit of everything, but it all looks fantastic. It's not like he's slacking in any department. So yeah, check out Infinitel Chronicles. Also check out Red Gaze's Sunsworn series. I'm reading through his novel right now, and
It's excellent, isn't it?
he can write.
Yeah.
And check out Nerium's Bonds to the Cursed Child. Just so much talent in our community, so many people working hard, taking their dreams, taking their passions, and turning it into something tangible. And that's always kind of special. There's always something magical there. So you can catch us back here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Catch me tomorrow on Going Rogue over on Etep's. Yeah, the Probe Thursday at Red Gazes, Friday over at Vinnie's, Sunday over at Vinnie's. We're constantly going all week long for you guys. Chat, you guys are the best. We love you. It means the world every time you show up. You're having conversations, making us laugh, asking questions. I mean, it really does make the difference. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone on the panel. I love you all. And yeah, until next week, we'll see you then.